One morning I got up and I saw that I had a message that said you were streaming and talking about me, and it had a little clip of this bullshit. And then later that day, I read through some more messages that came in that night before, and it had another clip, the same one, and that one said you were streaming to 3 people. The same clip. So 2 people sent me the fucking clip, and I don't know who the third person was. But 2/3 of your audience thought it was gay enough to send me a clip. That's kind of pathetic. Sitting in your dark car talking about hacks. Hacks!
And he was actually like helping find the children to put in the Discord, and he was also searching for the porn, in particular trans porn for some reason. Like, he's really into trans people.
Everybody knows that nobody searched for porn. It was put in there by those whores, dummy. I can't believe you're saying this shit. You think anyone who listens to you is totally retarded, don't you? Like, you have to be retarded to treat people this dumb. Your listeners must feel like you know they're stupid by now. Not to mention the fact that I was never in a Discord until last year. Ever. And that was pretty well known too, just not by you, see, because you don't seem to know anything.
He has like a fetish for them, and yeah, wild stuff that I found out about hacks. Like, it's crazy. It's going to be a video that's going to come out, and it's going to show you all the proof. You're going to find out who Hacks truly is. And it's funny because he wrote something on, he's been making video after video after video, and he's clearly very worried, it seems. And what he doesn't realize is that I didn't even say anything. So funny enough, I made one comment in May Noodle's chat. One comment out of thousands. It was the only comment I made. And he pinpointed it, and he saw it, and he thinks I didn't know that he was going to see it. I wrote it so you would pull it up like a dumbass and make a video about it. So now you've made like 6 videos based on just me saying random shit, whether it's true or not, because you're an idiot.
So this chick, Luca, look at me, you know, the one with the boy's name, who might have a little something extra to offer. Did she tell you that I'm the one that sent her over there to Kiwi Farms? I bet she didn't. She also could never have known that a very long time ago, somebody doxed the death of my wife, and nobody thought it was fake. And I acknowledged it. Not only that, there have been probably a dozen Hack's Dead Wife accounts over the years. And I take that shit pretty good. I always tell everybody when they come in that she's still better than anything they're hitting. And in this fucking case, she still smells better and looks better if you dig her up. I promise you that. I also admitted that I live in Illinois. And this was all before I realized how retardedly stalkerish everybody on YouTube was. So all of these doxes that you fucking complete morons keep coming up with don't even seem to go along with what is actually known about me. And again, nobody believes I'm a gamer. In fact, I doubt if anybody thinks I can turn on a computer at all.
He was going to try and convince May Noodles that he was transitioning into a woman. And he said he couldn't do it unless he could find an actual trans person that, quote, wouldn't kill themselves.
I guess we'll start out by listening to Whoosh make it okay that his dad, Dr. Evil, Crepe Poodle May Noodles, goes around doxing people and trying to be a bully. She even tried that with him and his ex, but he thinks that's okay. And all of this shit could cause real harm to people. In fact, the shit she did to me, well, let's say I was that old guy. Maybe I would have gotten hurt. Maybe there would have been a swatting. Maybe the old guy would have gotten hurt. Just because she got it wrong absolutely does not make it okay. And that's not the only people she's done it to. In fact, she's gone hard enough to where a weaker person might have tried to do some self-harm shit. That's a fact. But here he thinks that's okay.
So that they could take the brunt. So what he wanted to do was take an innocent person, pretend it was him, to have May Noodles dox that innocent person and attack them, thinking it was him.
Nice try on the gaslight, trying to spin shit around just to suit your little gay agenda. Nobody gives a fuck, dude. You're making so much shit up and you think nobody knows? It's so obvious. Neverland nonsense. You're like the lost boy, huh? Poor guy, you got no life? So somebody who's stupid enough to just take information without verifying it, somebody like you, for instance, Whoosh, you wouldn't get the consequences for your own behavior? Are you saying that Dr. Evil, your dad, because you're the mini-me, should have no consequences for her fucking shitty behavior? You think doxing can't lead to swatting? Are you stupid?
And specifically said, oh, it's got to be someone who's not going to kill themselves.
Sounds like I'm actually the only one who's worried about it, doesn't it? But this gaslighter here tries to flip it all around because he thinks everybody who's listening to him is an idiot, when it's obvious to us all who the idiot really is. Of course it's funny to tell somebody to tell everybody you're a tranny, or anything else that makes them look foolish. He wants to flip shit around so I'm an idiot for being concerned that if she made fun of the wrong person, they might self-harm. He's not concerned about it. He's with her. He's one of the sweet baby angels. And if I'm being honest, I wanted to tell her I was Keffels, but I knew even she wasn't that dumb. I should have told him, though. I should have got that info to him, because we all know by now he is that dumb. These two terrorists, by the way, used a bin verified account to search the word hacks and get the old guy's information. And I proved that they doxed his whole entire family. It was a cop, a possible hero, and that's what they did. But by what you're saying now, if he had been swatted, it would have been Allie's fault for giving her the information or access to the account. Or would you have blamed bin verified for supplying it? I mean, they could have incited a swatting. They told her audience that I did all kinds of horrible things, and it was a lie. They both claimed that I doxed their children and them, but I never doxed any of those litters of puppies that they have. In fact, I still to this day don't know their kids' names. And then you go on about how I obsess about you. I've been out of town for several weeks working, so I haven't really paid much attention, and I don't sub to your channel, although recently I got 2 clips sent to me in one night, and you were streaming to 3 people. 2 of those are the ones that sent me the clips, and you were talking about me.
So there's this whole funny thing going on with hacks. You know, this guy Hacks. He was trying to do this thing where he was recanting the history of this gonzo shitcock network and getting everything wrong, getting all the information wrong.
Just so we're clear, I backed up every fucking thing I said with receipts, and anyone who's paying attention already fucking knows that, you idiot. Not a lot of people give a fuck, but I'm just telling you right now, I already showed that, and you keep changing your story little by little. And they noticed that too.
And he has this weird misconception that my goal was to dox him. And he made this weird video recently and he said the failed doxers of YouTube. And he puts my face in it. And it's like, and he says, cowards dox because words hurt them. I have never ever once said that I was going to dox Hacks. I said, I know who he is. Never said that I was going to tell people. Who is Hacks? Literally. Who is Hacks? Nobody gives a shit. Like, nobody would care who you are. You're not important enough for anyone to be interested into finding out who you are as, like, your identity, you know? So you don't need to worry about that. Hacks, who is a guy I found out.
I know who Hacks is.
You do know who he is? Said that he's a guy who listened to Podtrash in 2015. That's why he hides his voice. I hinted at this on a previous thing that I know who Hacks is. Let's just say
I just remembered
he's a
what you
lord,
said, yeah.
something. So he has this paranoia that I'm like looking into him. So preemptively, he's making these videos and he's giving me all this information that I didn't even know, assuming that's where I'm getting information from. But all I did was drop one comment in May's chat where I said something like, Hacks is a Dragon Ball Z fan.
I posted this weeks ago when you started talking about that Lord shit, bringing it up again, even though that was already squashed a couple of years ago. And of course, it's funny to get idiots to repeat things that aren't true, that are so ridiculous. Now, you want to keep making believe that this is all you did was make one comment in a chat. But everybody who's paying attention, and trust me, it's not that many people, know that I already showed other shit you said in my comments coming up here. Here we go, talking about the Lord shit again, and you mentioned Kiwi Farms. It's right there. This was in one of my videos, and it was from at least 2 or 3 weeks ago. So you did know, because the only person who's still talking about it told you. See, nobody was talking about it before. She showed up late to the game. And while I really don't care and I don't feel the need to explain myself, I'm going to explain this just so you guys can look dumber than you already do. You see, before she was even around, a bunch of guys came into our chat asking if I was Beerus. And I answered them. I didn't ban them or anything, but they never came back. They were probably some of the farmers, if I'm being honest. And I already knew what they were doing, but I'm pretty sure they didn't believe it. Nobody ever doxed me, as far as I know. You can listen to all the out-of-context English that you want coming from Max's girl. And I know that now your claim is that she was doing that because she liked sex, but being home alone isn't having sex. We all know that.
The guy Hacks made this video where he said the failed doxers of YouTube, and then he starts bringing up this woman that he thinks I'm getting information from, who I didn't know, but now that he made the video, now I know her. And so now I've gotten a lot of information from her, including very, very disturbing things where Hacks took part in this bullying campaign of a trans person on Kiwi Farms, and then the trans person took their own life.
It seems like you'd have at least one person after all these years that would say that I'm so horrible, or that I bullied them, or that I was even flirting with them, but you don't have that. Outside of calling a whore and making some sarcastic jokes, maybe even some offensive ones, that's all you're going to come up with in almost 10 years. And your friend, Luca, whenever she started telling a bunch of people all about that, none of them believed her that I know of. In fact, I immediately started getting messages about it, and they mostly said, I'm not even going to ask you about it because I know it's not true. There were a couple of people that asked me a couple of questions, and I answered them. But she didn't ask anything. She didn't try to find out. She just believed what she wanted. And guess who didn't try to clear it up? Because it's funny to let people make fools of themselves, as you're finding out right now. Some guys aren't crippled by the fear of rejection in real life. Some people like their partners to be real people. And part of that is convincing them that you're worthwhile. People online trying to bond with other people online are just going to find the same people who are too lazy to make that effort. They probably haven't even showered in a week. They're there because they're afraid of rejection in real life, or because they don't want to make the effort.
He's like, I'm not Lord Beerus. And he was so paranoid that he plays a clip of me saying good beer, because I was drinking a beer, and he thinks I said good beard, referring to him. Like,
there was absolutely no talk of beer or beards, and I'm absolutely no hair farmer. I don't collect dead follicles. I can't imagine being a low-effort hippie trying to meet people online, growing shit on my face. Fucking nasty. What are you, one of those bearded hipsters? Nobody ever talked about a beard on my channel until now. And that shit's gross. You fucking collecting dead follicles on your face mixed in with your food just because you're too lazy to fucking shave, get a fucking haircut, meet people in real life, take women out somewhere. A bunch of low-effort pieces of trash running around the fucking internet. And I'm not part of that shit. I'm not part of any of it. Ugh. Fairly recently, I posted this when you started talking about the Lord shit. But you seemed to have missed the punchline. So I'm just going to let you know that it's funny when people say stupid shit on the internet. And I've always said I'm just here to laugh at idiots. In fact, I just started telling a few stories about what I remember from back in the day. But other than that, I'm only online to laugh directly at idiots. You and your new friend have been an endless amount of laughs for not just me. And I don't know if you know this, but I'll probably go along with anything you say I am. The only reason I set people straight on the golfer shit is because old people were being harassed and called at home. That online terrorist decided to encourage her audience to call the wife and tell her that the old guy was telling people online she was dead, because the death of my wife was a dox from a long time ago, and she didn't know that. People on her side knew that, but it's funny to let people make an ass of themselves, so nobody told her. I figured I would show people what it would be like if I actually did make up a fake Second Life account. Let's go. Now, this made me laugh, and I gotta be honest, I did not make this thing, but it's hilarious. I got the jokes, but I'm not this talented for sure, as far as the artwork. I also have some friends that are fucking really hilarious. So wait for it. I am 5'8". My most favorite thing to do is coloring, and I like the bestest when my picture goes on the refrigerator so everyone can see it, how good I am at it. This was my girlfriend. She is 5'9". She left because my coloring in was so good. His groups are avatars against Amazons. Not a child avatar, just short boys and shorties. I'm really not interested in crossing swords with you. I don't want to do a dick measuring contest. I know you're rock hard for me. I keep getting messages about it, but I'm sorry, dude. You're not my type. And I really don't have time for you. But you seem more interested in me than the women that I sleep with, and that is really uncomfortable for me. And you seem extra mad at Jimmer, and you're making me about him or whatever, and he wasn't talking about you that night. Get over yourself. And please get over me. I'm just not into you. I've probably got another 2 hours stored away of you just talking about me back to back. If I deleted everything else, it has to be 2 hours. Not to mention the night where you attacked the chat while some guy was trying to cover what I found on Van Vader. You attacked the chat and called them wine moms, even though they already reviewed what I showed. And they had the information. You went in there like you were an expert and you didn't know anything about it. I slept through that shit because I wake up before it gets light out so I can go to work. Although somebody did manage to get me up long enough to make that other video public while you were on. I meant to just make fun of you about that night and play a little clown music in the background, but I never did get around to it because you just can't stop. I'm sorry I don't have time for you. I'm going to take a break from your weirdness. It's creepy.
It's gonna hurt me. I can lie. Maybe you'll meet some other guy. Will understand me. Won't you try? Well, let's just kiss and say goodbye.